Hi, and welcome to a spooky Halloween edition of our Quick Tip tutorials. In this episode we're going to use the holiday as an excuse to explain a couple of Forest Pack tricks, and hopefully a few treats. This is an intermediate tutorial, so we're assuming some knowledge of Forest Pack and cutting straight to the interesting bits. Therefore, there are several Forest Pack objects already in this demo scene, but they all use a simple map distribution mode, and they're all assigned to this surface. Each of them has been layered using different map settings, but otherwise there's nothing unusual going on here. So what I want to demonstrate using these is how to create rules between forest objects so that they can react to one another. For example, perhaps we don't want these graves or the scrub to intersect with the trees. To fix it, it's possible to add one forest object to the areas list of another, and then use it to exclude items from the scatter. To demonstrate this feature, I'll select the Graves Forest Pack object and then go to the Areas list. Next, I'll click on the little tree button to add a new forest area, and then select the trees from the scene. As you can see, the graves are now excluded from around the tree, but maybe excluding too much. So to reduce the size of the collision volume, you can easily decrease the scale property. And really that's all there is to it. In this way you can exclude one forest object from around another, and best of all, this is a live link, so if we update the tree scatter, you can see the graves are updated too. Now let's do the same thing for the scrub forest object. Once again we'll add the trees to a forest exclude area and adjust the scale so that they don't intersect with the trunk. This time though, we also want to remove them from around the graves, so we'll add a second forest exclude area and then pick the grave from the scene. As you can see, you can add as many forest areas as you need. In this case though, it's a little different because we're going to increase the scale area to clear the scrub further from around each headstone. Okay, so now let's look at another way we can use these exclude areas, this time with fall off curves, to create patches of long grass that surround the trees and the headstones where they'd be hard to mow. Once again, we're starting with a scatter that's applied across the whole surface. And once again, we're going to add the trees as an exclude area. This will remove the grass. I'll reduce the scale value again so that the grass reaches the trunk. Now here's the fun part. Instead of a sudden stop, we can gradually lower the density of items as they approach the tree. To do that, you need to add a fall off distance value. This is the distance over which the fall off effect takes place. You then open the fall off curve editor, and lowering the right hand side of the grass will reduce the density of the scatter as it approaches the trunk. You can go further and do exactly the same thing for scale, so that they decrease in size as they reach the tree too. To do it, you enable scale fall off, set the distance as before, and then open the curve, and once again, the right hand side controls the size as it approaches the exclude objects. Okay, so here's a handy trick. You'll see there's an invert curve option. Clicking this will reverse the density and scale curves, essentially creating the opposite effect. Now the long grass only grows around the base of the trees. In fact, we did the same thing to create long grass around the gravestones too. But here's another handy tip. The fall off distance for each area can be controlled individually using the fall off effect settings. For example, to add less grass around the graves, we can simply reduce the density percentage. Under all this, we've added a grass preset from the built-in forest library, and once again it's applied to the whole area, but as it's so short we didn't think it necessary to exclude it from around the trees, especially as it'll be masked by this long grass we just added. However, we do want it to be removed from the path in this scene, and to do that you'd simply go to the areas rollout and add a spline area. Set the mode to exclude, and then increase the thickness property until you've excluded the grass from the width of your path. Easy as that. And then talking of this path, the last thing we're going to discuss are the pumpkins, that uses a quite different distribution mode that allows you to scatter items at regular intervals along a spline. We'll demonstrate this one from the very start, so first create a forest in icon mode, go to the geometry rollout where we'll add the pumpkin. Now as you can see, the pumpkin is actually a group that contains several objects. In order to add a group to the items list, the easiest way is to click on Add Multiple, which opens the object picker. Then you find the group you want to add, select it and click OK. Now you can go to the distribution rollout and change the mode to path. Click on the plus icon and select the paths you'd like to use from the scene. The distance between objects is then set using the spacing property. You can also offset the items, in this case to move them to the sides of the path. And finally, you can add randomization by enabling transform random rotation and random scale in the same way. And that creates one side of the path. If you want to create the other, simply duplicate the forest object, making sure that it's a copy, and then reverse the offset value. And there we have the pumpkins and the rest of the scene done. One final thing though. There was a not too hidden clue in what we just saw about one of the features coming soon for Forest Pack. Did you spot it? Let us know in the comments if you did. Until then, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more exciting news and tutorials coming soon.